All right, good day, viewers. Today, here I want to talk about the Pluto itself. That was like I mentioned in my last video. I said I want to discuss about Pluto. So I want to talk about a question on Pluto, which was asked. They said, why is Pluto no longer a planet? Or they can ask you, why is a Pluto no longer considered as a planet? So this is the video I want to explain the reason why Pluto is not considered as a planet. So let's start. Now, one of the explanation under this is there is a body that was operating called the International Astronomical Union, known as IAU. Yes, it's an union that deals with these astronauts that works in the space. So now, this International Astronomical Union was the one that downgraded the status of Pluto to that of a dwarf planet. Yes, because it did not meet the three criteria that IAU usually use to define a full-size planet. So that is it under that. So if you notice on this particular aspect, I was opportune to look at to see what activity that was carried out during this particular process. Now, if you check on this particular process, the activity that was carried out on this particular process is I noticed that during this activity, the Pluto itself was reclassified as a dwarf planet on the August 21st. Yes, 24th of August 2006. That was the period that they reclassified the Pluto by the International Astronomical Union, IAU, as at their 26th General Assembly Republic meeting. So now, at this period, now the decision was made after the discovery of several objects in Kuiper belts that were similar in size and composition to Pluto. That was what pushed them to say, okay, let's look at this. Let's bring out a new criteria to know whether if this 9 planet that was called, that if they attain this 9 planet, if they truly attain the 3 criteria, so that we will know that yes, we'll confirm them. So during this process, the IAU formed a committee to study the definition of a planet and develop a new classification system. That was what they did that particular time. That's on the 24th of August 2006. So at the process, now on that 24th of 2006, the IAU officially adopted the new definition of a planet. That was the period that they introduced the 3 criteria, which I'm going to mention later. So that was adopted by a new definition of a planet, which led to Pluto's reclassification as what? As a dwarf planet. Initially, Pluto was classified as a planet, but this period, that period on the 24th of August, that was the period that Pluto was downgraded. The status was downgraded. So sorry for that. Now, because I pity the Pluto, initially he was like at the top. At the end of the day, they downgraded him. So it was just as if somebody is a professor and after making some investigation, maybe he disobeyed a particular rule in the education system. So at the end of the day, they demoted him as a doctor. How will you feel? It's so very, very annoying and disgraceful. So that is what happened to Pluto. So now let's look at, or let's conclude on about Pluto. Now, if you look at this decision, was later rectified by a vote. Yes, the decision, after carrying out the decision, they did not just pronounce it at that moment. So they carried out a vote by the IAU members. Yes, on the 25th, that's the following day, on the 25th of that August 2006. That was a period that they said, okay, let's go by voting to confirm what we have noticed about Pluto. And at the end of the day, the voting counts, and it's now decided that yes, that was the day. So now, that particular day, which is that marks in the calendar year, which is the 24th of August, is the day that Pluto became a dwarf planet. So now, if you look at it, now let's talk about the reason why Pluto is not considered. We have 3 criteria that was newly introduced at that particular period. Yes, these 3 criteria is number 1. They said it is in orbit around the sun. If you look at all the planets itself, they all orbit around the sun. and all of them attained this first criteria, the new criteria that was introduced that particular day. So they now notice that from the Mercury to Pluto, all of them attain this particular criteria. So now the second one is the object's gravitational pull must be strong enough that it pulls the object into a spherical shape. Yes. Now, what does that mean? You know, normally, if an object is in a space, definitely there must be a presence of gravity. So now, these planets, all of them, they need to possess a gravitational pull. The object's gravitational pull must be very strong enough in order to pull out this object into a spherical shape. So they are in the shape that all of them possesses is in a spherical manner. One is not like rectangle, the other one is not like a triangle, the other one is not like a cycle. No, they are all a rectangular shape, and they must possess a strong gravitational pull that must pull them. So they now notice from the Mercury to the Pluto, all of them possesses the second criteria, and all of them was qualified on that part. Then the third one, that was the weapon that destroyed Pluto, which is the third criteria, it has cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. But Pluto, they are meant to clear the neighborhood around the orbit, but Pluto was not opportune to clear its neighborhood. In a layman language, I know geography might go in details to explain in detail, so I'm just trying to give you a recap. Or for those of you that are watching me that might not understand what does this clearing of a neighborhood is talking about. Okay, let me put it in a layman language. Okay, take for example now, in your room, you decided not to keep your room clean, your hair. So Pluto was not opportune, or was not opportune to clear his neighborhood around its orbit, but other planets were opportune to clear his neighborhood. So when they now noticed that Pluto was the only one that did not clear his neighborhood around its orbit, they decided to say, this Pluto is not opportune to be classified as a planet. Rather, let's downgrade its status back to what a dwarf planet. So I want you to know that this dwarf planet we are talking about is just like a demotion. Yes, they demoted him to the back of the dwarf planet. So after that, when he was downgraded back, so do you know that there was some other object that was promoted to join Pluto, and these objects were having their own means of promotion. So I don't want to go there. So now this object, we have two objects that joined Pluto on that year 2006, and we have it as Aries. Yes, Aries is one of the objects that joined Pluto. Number two, they are just two in number. We have Ceres. Ceres is part of one of the objects that was that joined Pluto, and they were very, very happy. Yes, it's just like a club in a relegation that was promoted to join a Premier League. They will be very happy that yes, they have been promoted, while Pluto was angry that why is it part of those people. So later on, in conclusion, later on in the 2008, after 2 years, another two objects later joined Pluto again, and one of them is Haumea. Haumea was one of the objects that joined Pluto. Then lastly, we have Makemake. Makemake is one of the objects. So, and at the end of the day, this object was part of those objects that joined Pluto, and they were classified as a dwarf planet. So, thank you very much. Nice making business with you.